is enough said.
Happy Monday, Heat Nation. Yo, boy Ernest here. Back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Hope you guys had a beautiful weekend. Hope you guys are living your most positive, best life. Please, guys, don't forget my daughter Maya is still running for Toddler of the Year. She's still currently first place. It's a huge cash prize, so I'll leave the link in the description. I'll pin it in the comments. But please join me as we go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. But before we get started, you guys, today is August 4th, and it is the birthday of my mother, Mercedes. So, Mom, I know you watch these episodes. I just want to take a moment to say happy birthday and thank you for everything you do for me, my brothers, my daughters, my wife. I love you. You know, didn't have a dad growing up. You were both mom and dad, raising me and my brothers all by yourself. I don't know how the hell you did it. Having two kids of my own, I still don't get it, how you did all of that by yourself, but I cannot express the gratitude and the love and the appreciation that I have for you, Mom. Happy birthday. I love you with all my heart. Now that we got all that sappy shit out of the way, let's go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure, guys, because I am excited about today's episode. Look, guys, I know we're in the boring time of the offseason. It's August. Ain't nothing going on. Ain't no trades. So I want to get you guys amped up for the regular season because 3 months is going to go by like that. So we're going to have some fun together. But in this episode, you guys, I want to talk about Bam Adebayo and Norman Powell because they were interviewed over the weekend and they said a lot of stuff that got me pumped, you guys, and it's getting me ready for next season. And looking at the team, man, I just want to talk it over with you guys. First, let's talk about Bam Adebayo, you guys. Yesterday, he did mention, he was at a youth basketball clinic. And he did mention to the Miami Herald that he feels like that this new roster is a good shakeup for the team, and now there's a different dynamic on it. He also mentioned that he feels like Norman Powell is one of those guys that floats under the radar. But as you saw this year, he's really shown that he can be an all-star caliber player. You've seen what he's done, and you've seen him grow in this league. And obviously, he wants to take the next challenge. And obviously, the next challenge is being with the Miami Heat. So I'm happy to have him. And that right there, you guys, that's a beautiful thing coming from your team captain. This is exactly what you want to hear. We know that, people can just say things, but at the end of the day, words have meaning. And I'm sure Norman Powell reads something like that and it gets him more motivated for training camp. And then Norman Powell actually said some stuff himself to the Miami Herald. He talked about exciting playing with certain players. They asked him who hasn't he spoken with that he's excited to get to know. He talked about Kel'el Ware. Talked about watching Kel'el Ware's game. Having a good presence. I think they're both going to be very good on the floor. I think Norman Powell, you guys, is going to bring a different dynamic to this team, and I get it. I understand that this team was embarrassed in the playoffs against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know we were blown out by some of the hugest margins in NBA history. But I'll say this. Last year was a different year. You were marred by the Jimmy Butler drama. Spo made some of the worst decisions I've ever seen him made as a coach. And I think it's because the whole Jimmy Butler thing affected this team, you guys. And not just Pat Riley and Jimmy. I think it affected Spo with the relationship he had with Jimmy. I think it affected Tyler and Bam because they looked at Jimmy as kind of, the guy on the team, and now they had to take a step foot forward. And I know Bam is the captain, but at the end of the day, they were all going by Jimmy Butler's lead. Jimmy Butler's not a vocal leader. He just leads by his attitude. Can be an asshole sometimes, but he's very blunt and honest. And that was one thing I always appreciated about Butler. But this training camp, you guys, you're going to get a way different team. You're going to get a team that there is no prima donna superstar. And I'm not saying Jimmy is that, but over time, you guys, when Jimmy first came on this team, I remember he was that guy waking up at 4 a.m., Kobe Bryant mentality, Mamba-like mentality, getting his teams prepared and, getting his players and the teams prepared and ready. I remember when the NBA closed down for the coronavirus, Jimmy Butler, it was reported that he sent all of his players that didn't have hoops in their house, bought them and sent them a hoop. wanted to make sure that they all got ready. There were certain players like Myers Leonard, Haywood Highsmith, other players that were following Jimmy Butler's lead, waking up at 4 a.m. and going to the gym. He went from that guy turning into a guy that was coasting during the regular season. And we understand it was because he would go nuclear in the playoffs, but you need high positioning in the regular season to compete for a championship. I understand we went to the finals as an 8th seed in 2023, but by the time we got to the finals, we were gassed the hell out. So this is going to be a different dynamic. You're going to look at a team, a young team whose oldest player is Norman Powell. You're going to look at this team. You're going to look at a bunch of guys who are going to know their particular role. You're going to look at a bunch of guys that are looking at Spo as the leader. And I think they're all going to buy into the system. And then you're going to have a captain like Bam Adebayo, who a lot of these players are younger than and are going to look to him for leadership. And then you're also going to have guys like Norman Powell, who's a former NBA champion, Andrew Wiggins, who's also a former NBA champion. They're going to be able to be next to Bam with these younger players and kind of give them the nod and say, yeah, this is what it takes to win. We know what it takes because we've done it before. This team has a perfect blend of players that are going to be developed and players that can help you win now. With a potential starting lineup of Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, Kel'el Ware. Guys, I love that lineup. That's a scary-ass lineup. And then you have Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell, whether he starts or comes off the bench and Norman Powell, whether Davion Mitchell starts and Norman Powell comes off the bench or vice versa, I still think it's going to work. Norman Powell out there with Tyler Hero might be better just because for the spacing and for the scoring. Davion Mitchell proved last year that he can be one hell of a six-man coming off the bench. Then you have Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic. You don't really know what you're going to get with them, but I think can take the next level. I think they can lead the bench with Davion Mitchell. Then you have Simone Fontecchio and Haywood Highsmith. Haywood Highsmith, who's your defensive specialist that can knock down the three. Simone Fontecchio, who was a Miami Heat killer, able to knock down the three as well. Let's not forget, you guys, we have Powell Larson and Keshad Johnson just ready to contribute. I think Powell Larson and Keshad Johnson are ready now, but this team is so loaded. You also have Kasparas Jonas, your first-round pick. This is a team, you guys, that's 12-13 deep. I can see, and one thing I love about this team, you guys, in the nitty-gritty times like in December and January when certain players aren't playing, this team is loaded enough to have players step up and play for them. Now, Norman Powell did talk about his recent trade, and I want to talk about that with the quotes that he said. The question that they asked him was, now that you've had a few weeks to reflect on your move to the Heat, how much are you looking forward to starting this new chapter? And he said, honestly, I'm super excited about it. It's always a shock when you get traded, especially coming off the year that I had and talking to the front office. It's all about the extensions and things like that. And then you get a little rumbling that it's a possibility, but not really. And then you get traded. So the shock is always there. But the Heat, they've always welcomed me with open arms. They've talked about how much they've wanted me and liked my game throughout the years and have tried to get me. So to come to a place that values you and wants you here and understands what you bring to the table and wants you to be with you, you can't be upset or mad about that at all. I'm very excited for the opportunity. Now, here's the thing. The question is, do you give Norman Powell an extension or not? I say wait till the season. Wait till the season, see how he does with this team. Because if you give him an extension now and the chemistry doesn't work, you're going to be bit in the ass. But you leave Norman Powell on his expiring contract. You see how he does with this team. Worst case scenario, he's off your books after next season. It's not like you give up a lot to get him. Only Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson. So with next year, you guys, we're getting Terry Rozier off your books, possibly Norman Powell if it doesn't work, Andrew Wiggins. Now we can go to the next chapter. But what I love about this team, we have all of our young assets to build for the future, and we have players that can help us win now, like Norman Powell and Andrew Wiggins. Terry Rozier, whatever. At least his contract's expiring. But hey, that's a guy who has cap flexibility to send him out with multiple second-round draft picks, and you can get someone that can help this team win now. That's what I think the Heat are banking on. So Heat Nation, let me know what you guys think in the comments. How do you feel about this season coming up? Let me know where you think the Heat can go, man. I think the Heat can compete for top 4. I really think so. The East is wide open next year. Cleveland and New York are the top, in my opinion, the top teams. So, especially with Boston out. So I think the Heat can make it competitive. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Mom, happy birthday. Don't forget to vote my daughter Maya for Toddler of the Year. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said.